The organ swelled into the bridal march, and every head turned toward the double doors. I was already standing at the front of the church, veil pinned perfectly, bouquet trembling in my white-knuckled grip. Then she walked in, my sister, wearing my wedding dress, the exact same custom lace gown I'd spent 9 months designing with Vera Wang's atelier. The same pearl buttons running down the back, the same cathedral-length train I'd cried over when it arrived, and on her arm, my fiancé, Ethan, smiling like this was the happiest day of his life. Gasps rippled through the pews. My mother clutched her pearls so hard I thought they'd snap. My father went white as the altar cloth. And me? I couldn't breathe. The world narrowed to a single burning point. My little sister, Emily, the girl I'd raised when Mom worked double shifts, floating down the aisle in my dress, toward my future husband, while I stood there like a ghost in someone else's nightmare. My name is Kelsey, and this is how everything changed. I remember the exact second my heart stopped. It wasn't when the doors opened. It was when Ethan looked up at me, standing abandoned at the altar in my backup dress, and mouthed 2 silent words. I'm sorry. Then he turned back to Emily, lifted her veil, and kissed her forehead like I no longer existed. The priest cleared his throat, voice shaking. Dearly beloved. I didn't hear the rest. Blood roared in my ears so loud I thought the stained glass saints would shatter. Someone behind me whispered, "Is this a prank?" Another voice, Aunt Linda, hissed, "Kelsey, honey, sit down." Sit down? I was the bride. This was my wedding, my flowers, my music, my guests, my life. And they'd stolen it, all of it. While I stood frozen, Emily reached the altar, handed her bouquet, my bouquet, to her maid of honor, my best friend Sarah, who wouldn't meet my eyes, and took both of Ethan's hands. The priest looked at me helplessly. Then, in the most gentle, broken voice, he asked, "Kelsey, do you want to step aside?" Step aside. Like I was blocking traffic. I felt every single pair of eyes burning into me. Pity, shock, morbid fascination. Some people already had their phones out. I could see the red recording lights blinking like demons, and that's when I did the unthinkable. I smiled. A slow, calm, terrifying smile. Then I walked forward, heels clicking against marble, until I stood right beside them. Emily's eyes widened. Ethan actually took a step back. I leaned in, close enough that only they could hear, and whispered, "Enjoy the wedding, little sister." I planned every single detail myself. Then I turned, faced the crowd, and said, loud and clear, "Everyone, please stay seated. The show's just beginning. If you're feeling that burn in your chest right now, tap the like button. Let me know I'm not screaming into the void." I took my place in the front pew, the bride's side, right next to my mother, who was openly crying. Dad looked like he'd aged 10 years in 10 seconds. I folded my hands in my lap like I was at Sunday service and stared straight ahead. The priest tried again. "We are gathered here today." I let him talk. I let them exchange the vows I had written. I let Ethan slide the ring, my ring, the 3-carat oval diamond I'd picked out in Antwerp, onto Emily's finger. And when the priest said, "You may kiss the bride," I didn't flinch. I clapped first, loud. Then the rest of the church followed, confused, uncomfortable, but clapping because that's what you do. Emily turned to me after the kiss, cheeks flushed, eyes glittering with victory. She mouthed, "Thank you, Kels. Thank you." For what? For not making a scene? For letting her have my life gift-wrapped? I just kept smiling. If that smile sent a chill down your spine, type "chills" in the comments. I need to know you felt it too. The reception was held at the country club I'd booked 2 years in advance. Ice sculptures of swans. My idea. String quartet playing our song. Mine and Ethan's. The cake. 6 tiers of vanilla bean with gold leaf, topped with the custom porcelain couple that looked exactly like me and Ethan. Except now it didn't. They cut the cake together, fed each other like every cheesy wedding video ever. Guests kept glancing at me, waiting for the breakdown. I gave them nothing. I drank champagne. I laughed at the best man speech. Ethan's brother, who looked like he wanted to die. I even caught the bouquet when Emily threw it. Because of course she made sure it went straight to me, held it up like a trophy. People started whispering that maybe I was in on it. Maybe this was performance art. Maybe I'd lost my mind. Let them think whatever kept them in their seats. Because I needed them all here. Every single witness. If you're wondering how someone can stay that calm when their entire world is burning, comment how. I'll tell you later. The night wore on. Open bar, dancing. Emily and Ethan's first dance to Perfect by Ed Sheeran, the song I'd chosen. I watched from the head table, where the bride was supposed to sit. Sipping my fourth glass of Dom Perignon, Emily twirled in my dress, laughing, radiant. Ethan kept looking over at me, confused by my silence. Good, let him stew. At 10:47 p.m. exactly, I stood up, tapped my glass with a spoon. The music stopped, every head turned. I walked to the center of the dance floor, stood beneath the fairy lights I'd spent months stringing myself, and spoke into the microphone the DJ handed me. "Hi everyone," I said, voice steady, almost warm. "For those who don't know me, I'm Kelsey, the original bride." Awkward laughter. I smiled wider. "I just wanted to say a few words before the night ends." Emily's face went pale. Ethan looked like he might bolt. I continued. 2 years ago, I met a man who told me I was his soulmate. We built a life together, planned a future. I gave him everything, my heart, my trust, my savings, my time. I even let my little sister move into our guest room when she got evicted. Again, I paused. Let that sink in. 6 months ago, I came home early from a work trip and found them together, in our bed, wearing my engagement ring, which he'd told me was at the jeweler being resized. Gasps. Phone's up again? Good. Keep recording. I didn't scream. I didn't fight. I just understood. Love is complicated, right? I looked right at Emily. She's always been the prettier one, the fun one, the one who gets whatever she wants because she cries the loudest. Emily's mouth opened, closed. I forgave them. I moved out. I let them keep the venue deposit, the dress, the honeymoon tickets, everything. Because family comes first. I raised my glass. So tonight, I want to make a toast. Everyone raised theirs automatically. To Ethan and Emily. May your marriage be everything you deserve. Then I turned the glass upside down and poured $800 champagne onto the white marble. Dead silence. I set the empty flute on the floor, looked straight into Emily's eyes and said, "By the way, I canceled the honeymoon this morning and reported the ring stolen and transferred every penny from our joint account into one only I can access and emailed HR at Ethan's company the security footage from our bedroom, timestamped." Ethan lurched forward. "Kelsey," I kept going. "Oh, and the venue? I own 49% of this country club. My name's on the deed with Dad. I just fired the entire catering staff, effective immediately. Security's about to escort you all out." I nodded toward the doors. 6 large men in black suits stepped forward. The screaming started. Emily lunged at me, veil flying, shrieking, "You psychotic bitch!" I didn't move. Just watched her ruin my dress with spilled champagne and mascara tears. Ethan tried to grab my arm. I looked at him like he was a stranger and said very softly, "You should have picked a smarter psycho." Then I walked out, heels clicking, head high. While behind me, the entire wedding descended into chaos. If your jaw is on the floor right now, comment. The quiet after the storm. Until it wasn't. The courtroom hallway smelled like bleach and broken dreams. I sat on the wooden bench outside Judge Whitaker's chambers, legs crossed, wearing the same calm smile I'd perfected at the wedding. 6 months had passed since I burned their fairy tale to the ground in front of 300 witnesses. And today was the day they tried to take what was left of me. Emily's lawyer, some shark in a $5,000 suit, walked past me whispering, "She's unhinged. We'll get the restraining order extended." I just waved. Little did they know, I'd been waiting for this exact moment. My name is Kelsey, and if you thought the wedding was revenge, you haven't seen anything yet. The second the gavel fell in my life the day they sued me, not just for emotional distress and defamation, they wanted $500,000. Because apparently ruining my life wasn't enough. They wanted to bankrupt me too. Ethan's new narrative. I was the abusive one, the stalker, the crazy ex who fabricated everything. Emily played the trembling victim on every local news channel, mascara running perfectly, voice cracking. My sister has always been jealous of me. I never meant to fall in love with Ethan. It just happened. The internet ate it up. Poor Emily trended for 2 days. I didn't say a word online. I just watched and planned. If you've ever been painted as the villain when you were bleeding, Drop a right now. I see you. The morning of the hearing, I walked in wearing soft cream cashmere, the color of innocence. Emily wore black, like she was attending my funeral. Perfect. The judge asked if we wanted to settle. Their lawyer smirked. My clients just want peace. I stood up slowly. Your Honor, before we begin, may I play a short video? It's only 90 seconds. The judge raised an eyebrow. Relevance? It proves who the real victim is. He nodded. I pressed play on the laptop I'd brought. The courtroom screen lit up with crystal clear footage. Date stamped. From the Nest camera in my old bedroom, there was Emily, straddling Ethan on my side of the bed, laughing. God, can you imagine her face when she finds out we're using her venue deposit? She's so stupid. She'll probably still show up in her dress. Ethan groaned, pulling her closer. Just don't cry too hard at the wedding. Save some tears for the honeymoon I'm paying for with her credit card. Then Emily leaned down and whispered, loud enough for the mic, I can't wait to watch her world burn. The entire room went dead silent. Emily's face drained of color. Ethan looked like he was going to be sick. I turned to the judge, voice soft. That was recorded 3 weeks before the wedding. There are 47 more clips just like it. The judge didn't even look at their lawyer. Case dismissed. With prejudice. And Mr. and Mrs. Hayes, I suggest you leave this courthouse very quietly. If you just whispered yes at your screen, type it in the comments. I heard every single one, but that was only the opening act. Because while they were busy playing victims, I'd been building something in silence. Something no one saw coming. After court, reporters swarmed me. Kelsey, how does it feel to win? I smiled into the cameras. This isn't about winning. It's about truth finally catching up. Then I walked away, but not home. I went straight to the bank because the joint account I'd emptied on wedding night, that was just the appetizer. The real money, the 7-figure trust fund our grandmother left me, the one Emily always whined should have been split, was still untouched. Until today, I transferred every cent into a new irrevocable trust beneficiary. The Kelsey Foundation for Betrayed Women, with one very specific clause. Emily and Ethan were permanently barred from ever receiving a single dime, even if I died. Then I called my assistant. Launch phase 2. If you're holding your breath right now, good, keep holding it. 2 weeks later, Emily posted a tearful TikTok from their cramped new apartment. The one they could barely afford after Ethan got suspended pending HR review. I just want my sister back, she cried to the camera. Family is everything. The comments were brutal. Girl, you stole her whole life. Where's the GoFundMe for Kelsey? I watched from my new penthouse, paid for in cash, and smiled. Then I dropped the nuke. I released the full, unedited security footage. Not just the sex. The conversations. Emily telling Ethan my passwords. Laughing about how she'd forged my signature on the venue contract changes. Planning to list my condo for sale the day after the wedding. All of it. Within hours, #EmilyIsOverParty was #1 worldwide. Her brand deals vanished. Ethan's company fired him for cause. Their wedding photos, the ones they'd sold to People magazine, got pulled. And then, the best part. I bought the website domain, EmilyandEthanWedding.com, redirected it to a GoFundMe. For me. Title: Help Kelsey rebuild after her sister stole her life. We hit $800,000 in 48 hours. If you donated, comment I donated. I cried reading your messages. But I still wasn't done, because revenge isn't loud. It's surgical. It's patient. It's showing up to your little sister's baby shower, the one she announced 3 months after the wedding, wearing red, crimson red, carrying a gift bag. Everyone froze when I walked in. Emily, 7 months pregnant, glowing, went white. Kelsey, you weren't invited. I smiled. I know, but we're family, right? I handed her the gift. Inside, a tiny white onesie, with black lettering that read, My aunt tried to sell my mom's condo before I was born. The room erupted. Her mother-in-law actually fainted. I kissed Emily's cheek, right where her fake tear was, and whispered, Sleep well, mommy. Then I left. If that made you cheer out loud, type queen in the comments. I'm reading every single one. But the real revenge? That came 9 months after the wedding, on their first anniversary, when Emily went into labor. And the hospital called the emergency contact still listed in her file. Me. I answered and said, I'm sorry, I'm no longer family, then hung up. She gave birth alone. Ethan was stuck in traffic because someone had anonymously reported his car stolen. It wasn't stolen, just towed legally. If you're shaking right now, type I'm shaking. Shortened, no filler. Pure fire. One single post as you asked. The night they came crawling, it was pouring. I watched them on the Ring camera for a full minute before I buzzed the gate. Emily was holding the baby with one arm, the other clutching a soaked diaper bag. Ethan looked like he hadn't slept in weeks. When I finally opened the door, Emily fell to her knees on my marble floor. Please, Kelsey, we have nowhere else. I didn't help her up. I just said, take off your shoes. You know the rules. They sat on my couch, dripping, shaking, broken. I slid one document across the table. Sign this confession, on camera, then you get to live. They signed. They cried. They thanked me while reading every ugly truth out loud. I uploaded the video myself at 2:17 a.m. By sunrise, it had 37 million views, and their lives were officially over. 3 months later, my birthday party, same venue where I destroyed their wedding. I made them walk in holding my niece Lily, made them stand on the stage I once stood at as a bride, made Emily say into the microphone, Kelsey saved us after we tried to destroy her. We work for her now. We owe her everything. The room was dead silent. Then I took the mic and added, they will spend the rest of their lives paying me back. Every day, every dollar, every breath, and they will smile while doing it. I looked at Emily. Tell them you're grateful. She did, voice cracking. The crowd finally clapped. Slow, stunned, terrified applause. Later that night, when the guests left, Emily asked through tears, do you forgive us? I looked at Lily sleeping in my arms, then at the woman who used to be my sister. No, I said softly, but I'm keeping you alive the only way monsters should be kept, on a leash. I handed the baby back. See you Monday at 8 a.m. Sharp. You're late? The allowance stops. Emily nodded, eyes empty. Ethan whispered, thank you, Kelsey. I smiled the same smile from the wedding. Don't thank me yet. You still have 40 years left to serve. Then I closed the door. The internet called it the coldest mercy ever recorded. I just call it Tuesday. And that, finally, is the end. They stole my fiancé. I took their entire future. Poetic justice. Served ice cold. If this story lived rent-free in your head, comment one word, masterpiece. Thank you for staying till the last second. Like, share, and I'll see you monsters in the next one. 5 years later, I'm sitting in my glass office overlooking the city I now own half of. My phone buzzes. A text from Emily. Lily lost her first tooth. She wants Aunt Kelsey to see. Attached. A photo of my niece grinning, gap-toothed, holding a tiny tooth-like treasure. I smile. Real this time. I text back. Tell her the tooth fairy reports directly to me now. $100 coming. Then I open the live feed from their apartment still has. They never noticed I kept access. Emily is cooking dinner in the kitchen I pay for. Ethan is helping Lily with homework at the table I bought. They look peaceful, happy even. They laugh at something Lily says, and for 1 second, my chest aches. Then I remember the wedding, the courtroom, the night they begged on their knees. I close the feed, pick up my phone again, send one last text to both of them. Allowance increased 20% this month. Keep her happy, or I stop everything tomorrow. Scene, 3 dots. Then Emily's reply. Thank you, Kelsey. We love you. I don't reply. I just lean back, look at the skyline, and whisper to the empty room. No, you fear me. And that's better. Screen fades to black. The end. If that last line gave you goosebumps, comment ice cold. Thank you for riding this revenge to the very last drop. Now go tell someone this story. They won't sleep tonight.